always, top left corner, my brother standing in at 6'2", 225 pounds. Tony is in the building. How we feeling today?
Very healthy at 6'2", 225. I'm well.
That's like some wide receiver one, Justin Jefferson type. I think Jefferson's 6'2".
Justin Jefferson ain't 225.
That I mean, yeah, you're probably right. It trips me out because him and Chase are like, and they both great, but they're like shorter than like the great receivers I'm used to. It was like it used to be like a pre-qualification. You had to be like 6'3", 6'4", like you had to be like Julio or Calvin. Like AB was kind of like the breakout of like if AB was 5'11" was on a good day, but he was still
That's
catching 10
not
passes a
true.
game.
That ain't
There were
true.
great receivers like in the
Mo-
2000s.
Yeah, that them niggas was outliers. Like Julio and we ain't even talking about Calvin. That's a whole nother thing. Like Julio was what, like 6'3", 225. Like Julio was an outlier. You think about
Fitz
great
was 6'3",
receivers.
6.
Fitz was like 6'3", but Fitz was still like that. Fitz was drafted like '04
No, I'm saying great receivers up. So I'm going
of the
2000 to early
2000s or the 2010s because
2000s.
those are different.
I'm transitioning. So like just growing up watching football. So like you got Fitz, tall, Calvin was tall, Julio was tall. Who else in that era? Randy obviously, like Randy T.O. I get it. Like those are I'm hitting like top 5, top 6 wide receivers ever, but like
You going across like 15 years of niggas drafted like Randy Moss and T.O. was
that's
drafted in like the 90s.
that's
He
fine.
threw
That's fine.
Julio, and then he
Early
threw Julio in there.
I
Like
connected the dots.
these are
Randy
different eras.
T.O.
You going across eras now.
You ignore
Randy
Torrey Holt. You
T.O. Then I
ignore
get to Fitz.
He ain't said Steve Smith yet.
Steve Smith,
Shit, Chad is what?
Marvin,
Chad what? 6 feet.
Reggie. Chad's like 6 feet, six
Them
one
niggas
at
had that.
best. Like,
Them niggas had Peyton Manning. Like
okay.
them
Like
niggas had
he,
Peyton
you,
Manning. That's
but like he said that you literally just started naming all time great niggas. Like not
that's
the
a
other
fact.
niggas that was great during their time.
I ain't see them niggas go to the Super Bowl on one leg and get 100 yards. I saw T.O. do it. Um, oh man. Hey, standing in the other corner, standing in 6'3", 236 pounds. Will is in the building. How we feeling today?
Like the biggest and fastest.
Get this man
You,
down to down to the WWE training center.
what? Nah, I ain't gonna start there. Excuse me. Uh See, I don't ever give my height because I always feel like I can't give like a fake height and niggas ever take it like seriously because since I'm already tall, if I make myself shorter, we just run through the jokes we done on 2K, which is like I was the tallest nigga, but always made like the shortest my players. And if I make myself taller, it's gonna be like, damn nigga, like you ain't satisfied, like so. That's why I don't do height jokes for myself because you can't really make height jokes as a nigga who's 6'9". Like niggas can clown you
Don't
because like
nobody
you're
care.
not in the league and like that's the saying. Like it's just
Ooh, I'm Justin. I'm 6'9". I'm married to a woman that loves me. Like, shut the
I
fuck up, man.
hey
Like,
man, look,
Nigga out here living the life and shit. Who cares?
bitching about it. Come on, man.
hey man, look. I had who was I just talking to about height actually? Man, we would just I'm gonna think of it later in the show, but I was just literally talking to someone about there was something to do with height, and I hate most height conversations, but this one actually was like kind of intriguing. That being said, welcome back, as I said, to another episode of the Group Chat Podcast. Happy for everybody hanging out with us today. If you are listening back to this, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcast, we appreciate you as always. Who we listening to this week, man? Who we got for rap of the week? Who y'all been listening to?
Well, who's the rap of the week?
Chicago Legend dropped this week, Will,
You said who dropped you?
and one did a remix through a prison phone. I just, you take your choice. We got a lot of stuff came out through Chicago this week.
Well, you talking about Sosa? I ain't listening to that shit though. Shout out to Sosa.
A lot of legends in Chicago. I was talking about Common, but you know. Uh, who's your rapper of the week, Will?
Common. I don't know if I don't. Do I even got a rapper of the week this week? Have I listened to music this week? It's crazy.
That's real. That's real as hell.
And sometimes I gotta check like my iPhone and be like, what was I listening to
Actually,
this
no.
week?
Hove. I'm gonna go Hove. When I was in the gym, I bumped Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna go with
Any
Hove.
got interview? We got possibly new music. Listen to some Hove. Tony, who we listening to this week?
Uh, my rapper of the week is Rising West Memphis, Arkansas artist Fox BD. Real music, real music from the YNs of the rap game, if you will. It's probably the only time I'll ever say YN. So
You said he's from
yeah,
Arkansas?
West Memphis, Arkansas. So it's not
Oh, okay. I
Tennessee,
got you. I got
but
you.
it is on the line, you know. Yeah,
It's like we got
Fox
a
BD.
we got a what is it? What do we got here? It's like a East St. Louis
It's East St.
version of
Yeah,
Fox
East
West.
St. Louis. Yeah, that's where ain't that's where D Miles from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
See, I know Tony named niggas I like. I'm always curious because I will go and generally listen to it, but like Tony like consistently names niggas that I have like no idea who the fuck they are.
Tony
And
and
so,
YN for
but
real.
that's he got one more year of that shit. He got one more year. Once there's a 3 in front of your age, that should go from YN to Unk. Like there ain't no transition. Like the way I went receivers, like I went T.O. Randy and went straight to Julio. That's how that shit work. You got that 2 in front, you can still claim YN. Once you get a 3, it's over.
You know the difference between me at 30 and you at 30? I dress well, so I can't really be on.
That's valid. Like I'm not winning no fashion argument to nobody. There's like I get told by people that may or may not have been mentioned already in this podcast, like you dress homeless. Like so,
Oh,
I'm
that's
not gonna
crazy.
say like I'm not gonna say like I ain't winning the fashion arguments, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. When you my height, like sometimes you just be like, oh yeah, this shit fits. I guess Charlamagne and I we both go to Target. I'm cool with it. Um,
You going
my
to
Where you
rapper of the
Target?
week,
shop?
and really,
Where you shop? Ain't
You shopping at
you gotta make
Target?
your fits in.
I'll get close to Target. I'll go because Target used to have. They don't have it anymore because
Stop
California.
promoting
Oh,
Target, man.
these. Well, fuck it. Now, I'm saying this is throughout my life. All right,
Okay,
It's throughout
okay.
throughout periods of my life. It's because they used to have a $6 shirt section, and so I could go in and get a shirt for $6.
Like white tees.
You can go to the beauty supply for that, my nigga.
I see. I wasn't trying to do all that. I wish there
We
was
talking
there
we
was there was
talking white
more.
and black tees, like gray tees, shit like
Right,
that.
but they had different colors. That was my style. Like
You
whatever
know
colors they
Justin the
had
nigga to
in the
get
house in that day.
Justin walk up. You know Justin the nigga. He walk out of that with flavors. he
That's a fact. Like nigga have like
walk out.
they got
He
four
walk
colors
out. He
today,
walk
man.
out. He opened that bag like he just opened a pack of Starburst. He got every color up bag and rolled up motherfucker. he ain't he ain't even the
That
nigga to go get the
nigga,
black, white, and
yeah,
gray. He want the purple one. He want the lime green. He want the yellow. Like he coming out with all type of bullshit.
that's funny as hell.
Hey, look, man. Um, but and then no, so for rapper of the week, specifically, really like album of the week. Because it's really only one album I'm listening to this week, and it's old, but it's Ignatius by Jadakiss. It is, in my opinion, Kiss's most underrated album. Like, I feel like it doesn't get, and I'm aware of why it doesn't, just because of who he is and album music he's put out. But he was rapping his ass off on Ignatius, and I think it's what year is it? I forget. 2020. This nigga was talking about I gotta get a new crossbow to kill somebody in 2020, and I thought that was heat. I was like, he said I need a new crossbow and then I need a bear trap for the bigger niggas, and I was like, yeah, you got it. Like whatever time you want, you got it. Like you talking about killing niggas with bear traps, crossbows, like that's a different. So
Kiss was
shout out
all
to Jada Kiss, shout out to
he was in his Home Alone bag. Macaulay Culkin shit.
Like that's a fact. But that album is fire. It's been fire, and I ran that back I think 2 or 3 times this week. Super dope project. Shout out to Kiss. Shout out to all the rapper of the weeks. I want to ask you, how y'all doing this week? How is everybody? How is life? How we feeling?
You know, we live in a crazy world. So as long as I'm housed and fed, everything is okay.
Gas is 6:30 over here. It's a it's a world, man. It's a world.
It's a nigga right
How
now.
Yeah, 6:30 is
That's
crazy.
it's a nigga right now. That's just he fucked up, down bad in the game, cooked. Some would say, and he's sitting there watching the news or watching any sort of information outlet, and he's saying, this just isn't what I voted for. And to that person that's saying those words, go to hell, die, okay, die, because this is exactly what you voted for. You voted for schools to be bombed and little girls to be killed. You voted for people not to be able to feed their families and, gas to be at record highs. I just saw ground beef is the highest it's ever been. Do I eat ground beef? Fuck no. But is this somebody that takes care of a family on ground beef? Absolutely. And it's like, bro, we are in the dumbest time. I can't even say, I said worst time. I don't even think we're in the worst time. This is just the dumbest time because every issue that we're having as a society and as a world was very easily avoidable. But niggas sat there and says, you know what? I don't believe this is the right choice, but she's a black woman and I just can't bring myself to do it. And to you that did that, die, okay? Die.
Yeah, you remember
See, I can't
What
clip
Kane
that because they'll
said.
pull that shit down. I would love to clip that, but the second he starts saying like niggas will be like he told niggas to die like repeatedly, we just gonna get flagged.
You
I
Y'all
agree
know?
with
remember
you,
what
but I'm
Kane?
like
Y'all remember
I
what
can't
Kane
clip.
said? He said, "You knew I wasn't shit when you got with me."
That's
Y'all
Like
knew he
you
wasn't
but
shit.
not to the ground
you knew what was going on, you know?
to the ground beef thing, and it's like it's did you ever y'all ever been around like old people who went through I guess if you want to count like at the during when I was in high school we had a recession or mini recession, I forget what it technically categorizes as. But y'all have been around old people who've really gone through that shit, like a recession.
Like a Great Depression and shit.
Well, the Great Depression is it's too old now. Like everybody there would be just they would just
Yeah,
look
because I'm
back
about to
and be
say
like,
the
"You're dead."
a recession, like I was alive for that. Jeezy rapped about it, you know?
This is, but like the people who like really start like counting cans and like prices of stuff, and they're like, "Yo, no, you got to have this because it's shit." Like they'll sit there or like gas shortages when the
I
gas
do
shortage
remember
happened.
that. I remember the gas shortage. All my teachers was leaving early and shit. They was like, "Yo, we gotta go get gas." I was like, no one in my house has a car. I don't know what's going on.
No, my grandma. So my grandmother, she texted me to the ground beef point. She was like, "Hey, just so you know, this is who's selling it for the cheapest, and if you can get this is the best rate you're gonna get." And I'm like, that mentality of like knowing, damn, like it's not gonna get better. It's just gonna get worse. And so, literally reaching out to people and be like, "Hey, look, you got to get it now." Like she did it when her and Larry were married. They literally they would stock up on gas because it was a shortage, and it was like they didn't do a ton of driving because she was at home with kids, and so he just drove to work. And it was like any chance you got, you get gas, you try to get some extra gas, put that shit away. And even then, back then, it was like now you might got to fight somebody because they know you got the extra gas, and now you put basically like it's people that have lived through different recessions or shortages of stuff. Like it is a different mentality and mindset, and at the end of the day, everybody gonna go to survival, and so that's how.
Real Hunger Game shit.
I know 1,000%. Like, and that's just unfortunately, that's how it should be. That's how shit goes. Um, he is not the reason for this conversation, um, but I did add to the doc. Um, is a conversation in regards to yes men, and that's because I was talking to somebody uh, who's in my family, and it's one of my cousins. I'm not gonna name drop, but they're trying to
Shout out
do
to my
something
nigga
basically
Ryan.
like a group project. It ain't right. Nah, I love Ryan. Ryan too lazy to do something like this, and I'll tell him that. Like, I love Ryan, but Ryan, this ain't his thing. They're trying to get stuff together, and they're trying to. It's them and a couple of their friends, and they're trying to do something. And uh, I was talking to him, and I noticed like halfway through, and I'm like, do y'all ever like argue about points, or is everything just like always cool? And basically, they're telling me is like they pretty much all agree with what the person who's leading, which is happens in this case for my cousin. And my only advice I really gave is it's not going to work if y'all always agree. Prioritizing the fact that you do need some people to give you pushback, because otherwise, unless you really feel you just that nice or that smart that you're not going to make no fuck ups, it's all going to fall on you when something does inevitably go wrong, and how you handle that. So I want to ask this in regards to yes man. And again, I ain't talking about whatever fucking number he is. He got two numbers now. Because he's obviously a really bad case. What happens when you only got yes men in your life? Did y'all at any point in your lives feel like, whether it was when you were younger adults, like younger being kids, younger adults even now, were like you dead ass had like yes, a bunch of yes men in your life? Like your friends were just like, oh yeah, man, like they were always agreeing with you.
I ain't never had no bitch niggas around. Like,
Nah, I'm only cool. I'm only cool with niggas that push back.
my niggas was solid.
So that's what I was trying to explain, because my cousin asked, well, how do you do like when you talking with them, and like what are your guys' conversations? I'm like, if I can't like, yeah, there's obviously like agreements that we have, but I'm like, there's pushback all the time. Like between like you two, Matt, like Matt has told me several times of like, don't try to make your whole life content, because there was a point in time where I was like, I was trying to make everything content. The amount of times I've like put ideas in the chat and I have been laughed out the chat because the idea was stupid is plentiful. I ain't gonna go through all of them because we don't got to, but it did. I was like, but that is truly valuable that I can put something out there, and if y'all are like, nah, this ain't it. And it's not like it's no hard feelings, it's nothing bad, but it's like it's just straight up like that constructive part of like you can't just always have people who are saying yes to you all the fucking time.
No, that's not productive for nobody. That's not productive for the friendship, and it's not productive for you as an individual. Like to not hear no, or to not hear like that's some bullshit. It's just like,
Especially even if it's like simple shit. It ain't even always got to be no deep shit. It could just be regular shit like sports takes, like what's going on in the world, like shit like that. Y'all just it ain't no way y'all view everything the fucking same.
The way I view centers. Um,
I ain't gonna lie, that shit low key. You got a lot of bad takes, like, but like that center
but I
shit,
got
bro, is real deal. Like, might be the dumbest
I
shit you got. Cause it's some
I
takes you have where I can disagree. Like I see where you coming from. I just disagree on it. The center shit is so outrageous to where it's like, what are you talking about?
I look, man. Because I just because if I go play basketball with a bunch of niggas who's 5 foot, guess what they gonna say? Like, you ain't shit. But we allow with niggas who's 7'1" and fucking shoot the ball from all the way up here. Like, oh yeah, that shit's cool. Um. Anyway,
You comparing the fucking street ball to the highest level of basketball in the world is insane.
nah, nigga, I'm comparing when I was hooping at the elementary school. When I was working there and I was I was
I
whooping
guess,
on the fucking fourth
I
grade.
guess kids, nigga. Against the
Facts.
elementary school kids.
That's a fact.
He said
But I was, but I was, I was,
Justin was out there. He swore it ain't been a nigga more dominant since Shaq.
but I was responsible. I put on my ice cube. I made sure I had a triple double. I was giving out assists. Like the kids were scoring. You know,
All right,
they
Ice
weren't grabbing
Cube.
rebounds over me.
Only nigga ever to play all time point guard. Like you normally a nigga play all time QB. You just all time point guard. Like
I shit was. I remember that was like you get a kids respectfully to people with kids. Kids can be assholes, especially like if you're not their parent, and even if you are their parent, they can be assholes. And sometimes like you can't like if it's somebody else's kid and you in a working environment of school and they say some wild shit to you and like you have to respond professionally, right? And that takes a lot out of you. So then when it's time for recess and then niggas want to put a shot up and you know they were talking slick all day, you ain't lived until you swatted that shit back into like the other side of the playground. And then you tell that nigga like, hey man, you gotta go get the ball. Like, that's your ball, you better go get that. I was
dog,
Man, look at this
you
shit to
are
get you going.
you a special type of nigga, yo. For real. You really are.
I always we'll get back to the Esmond here in a second, because I can say this now because I've officially, when I left the school, I had to sign paperwork that like X amount of years because I knew information about the like, so much like classified information about the kids is, and this is gonna make everybody like nervous as hell, but it's cool.
That nigga had to
I'm a
sign an
better
NDA.
person. No, I
They,
did.
they ain't want him to reveal the mystery new recipe and shit.
I did. I was impractical as hell like my first year working at the school. Like there was just shit I did where like I challenged them niggas to arm wrestling contest, said, hey, look, man, if you lose, you gotta be quiet. Like I'm not dealing with it. Like if you lose, you gotta sit down. And so this is my world famous story that I'm now comfortable to say on a microphone. I get transferred to a site that specifically has behavioral issues, right? And the whole logic behind it is like, you be just scared of niggas because like you much taller than them, et cetera, et cetera. So they give me the sixth graders, right? And y'all can imagine how sixth graders act. Sixth graders assholes. We get into the classroom, it's time for homework, and them niggas just don't give a fuck about me. I'm like a sub, them niggas don't care at all, right? And I say, all right, man, listen. Y'all ever learned about kinetic energy? And they're like, what is that? And I was like, the more you move, it heats up. I go to the thermostat. I turn
This
my
nigga was trying to this nigga was trying to boil these kids to death. Dog, edit this out. edit, edit this out, fam.
He
What
said
are you
that heat stroke
I
talking
and
can see
shit.
where
about?
it's going.
What are you talking
The- hey, but it took about 30 seconds, and they all got quiet and started doing their homework. I turned on the
You a wild
AC.
nigga.
My supervisor and like the supervisor from the district like walks in that bitch like 30 seconds later after the AC has had like chance to like be cool, and they're like, wow, you got them all to be quiet, like that's really impressive. And in my head I'm just like, after it finally clicked in, and this is like again really early on in school, so I'm 20 21, and I just sit there and like after thinking back and I'm like, yo man, they should have fired me. And like that supervisor walked away thinking like I was doing such a great job, and I'm like, nigga, you should be gone.
I would have paid any amount of money to see you sub a high school class.
Honestly, I wouldn't deal with high schoolers. The
I was just
highest
they
one
gonna
up was
fuck you
eighth
up.
graders. Nigga, I got threatened to get stabbed by an eighth grader. Like we
That
had
nigga would have hogged
we
you
had a,
too.
nah, he got in an argument with me, and again, I'm professionally responding to the best I can. But he being an asshole, he's an eighth grader, and he's a taller eighth grader, right? So he's 6'1", 6'2", whatever. He finally leaves because I'm subbing at the middle school, and this nigga then the fucking lead over there comes to talk to me. He's like, hey, you probably should have told us beforehand, but just be aware. Only reason he not here is because he got a court case, and they say if he's in the before and after school program, he don't got to be somewhere else. And I'm like, y'all couldn't have told me that beforehand. Like this nigga's already like a threatened people with a weapon, and y'all told me after the fact.
What
Like
year
this
was
nigga,
this?
shit, what was that? So that was before I was an assistant. I got promoted in 20. I left the school in 2018, so 2015, 2016. So I'm 21, 22 at this time.
So
Yeah, 20.
at this point, we've known you about 5, 6 years.
Oh yeah, I
You
would have been
losing
stabbed
your
by
life because you got stabbed by an eighth grader. And
everybody. Like,
He was like,
it
"Yo, you
was,
heard
it
from
was like,
Justin? You heard from Justin?"
y'all have seen that post. I was, it would have been, niggas have been like, damn. Um, but nah, yeah. So no, it's fun stories from then. Y'all ever have a nigga you felt like was being a yes man? Like a friend you ever felt like you ever feel like a friend is like, damn, you agreeing like too much?
No,
I done
man, none
seen
of my
like
niggas was dick eating. Like
yeah, I
I
done
done been
seen
around
niggas.
niggas, but
I
I
done
ain't
seen
had no.
niggas. Yeah, I'm like I done seen niggas like be that way with other niggas.
What Wax say? He said, "I ain't got no niggas in the room. I ain't got no niggas in the room." Like,
Oh man, nah, it's valid. It's valid. Again, just said I was having a conversation with my cousin, and it was one of those things where I'm like, and I tell people it's probably like I probably have like the extreme view of it, where I was like, 99% of the time niggas tell me I'm wrong. Even if it's something that works out, like 99% of the time niggas tell me, like Tony just said, like, hey man, look, you got a ton of terrible fucking takes. And I'm like, but that feedback though, because of I forget which one of y'all said it, and y'all might have both said it, so I'll give you both credit. But it was like really early on, and y'all kept calling me. I was like, "Oh, you sound like so and so. You sound like so and so." And even the way like I've built my voice and the direction that I try to pod now is it's a long form way of saying thank you to not only you two, but again like to Matt, Jake of getting that criticism and feedback, so that I don't just sit there and like because I'm pretty sure again like I've been called like, "Oh, you trying to sound like Joe? Oh, you trying to sound like so and so?" Like over the years, different feedback and criticism for y'all, and so or from y'all. So this is a long-winded way of saying thank you, and to anybody out there. And it don't always gotta be arguments. Like you could just disagree with niggas and it not be an argument, which happens. Which happens a lot. Just some people some people are more sensitive about it than others.
Yeah,
So
no, definitely. I think like every disagreement definitely ain't got to be like an argument. Like I think we disagree about like a lot of shit. You just easy to argue with.
me and Justin
But
argue all the time. Me
but
and
that's what
Justin
I'm
argue
like.
all
No,
the
but
time. But
it's
like,
times where like
it
it's times
ain't.
where like even when you think when we having like the conversation about like whether it's basketball and shit and we talking about the Jokic shit like
yeah.
Tony may be more on the Justin side of the argument, but you just a nigga that's easy to argue with.
I don't deny
But
that.
then,
I don't deny
but then
that.
it's also shit where like you and Tony going back and forth, and I may be on the Justin side of it, but you just you the nigga that's easy to argue with.
I'm losing. It's like, nah, he kind of telling the
like
truth, but nah, fuck that shit.
like
Nah,
it's been a
nigga
lot of
wrong.
time. Like it's been a lot of times when we've been doing this shit, and it's like I just kind of peeped that. I be like I be knowing like especially I think especially when we talking about like the Jokic shit, because I know Tony feel how you feel. You just the nigga that's gonna argue with you the nigga to argue with though.
Now he now is on the SGA side of it, which like I'll be real. I have, and I'm saving this for tomorrow morning. Is I'll uh, I'll save it for when we actually talk NBA because I got an opinion and y'all can kill me for it, but I want to wait until we get to the NBA. I want to get into this, and I know neither Tony is by far like when we talk college sports. Tony is by far the best inside out of the three of us. But I watched Duke and UConn. I saw the Monday show actually. It was great. I was like, I went and saw Rays Cardinals, then I watched Duke UConn, and then I ended my night with the Pelicans game. And I understand two of those three, I'm the only nigga watching. I'm fully well aware of that. But Duke UConn was amazing. Um, and Dan Hurley, who the only thing I really know about him is that he is supposedly an asshole. And he is yelling at everyone and anyone, like his own players, other players, the refs. That nigga's fun as fuck to watch on the sideline. I'm not gonna lie. When he headbutted a ref, when you headbutt a referee after your player makes a potential game winning shot and basically dare him, yeah, call the tech. I'm a Dan Hurley fan right now. I don't know the whole story. I don't know his whole thing. Like I saw that and I was like, I get behind that. Um, the watching the game, I'm gonna start with Tony, is how enjoyable was it to watch Duke fuck it up 2 years in a row, and um Is Dan always like that? Is like this nigga just always like hyped up like before every game, or is that specifically because it's the tournament?
The Dan Hurley thing is easy. He's Dan Hurley's always like that. Dan Hurley is like that in fucking in the Maui Invitational. Like that's just who Dan Hurley is. He's ready to scrap at the drop of a hat. But that's the Hurleys for you. His brother was that way. Bobby Hurley, he's that way. So um, to the Duke of it all, it was great to see that from a UNC former UNC fan standpoint. You always love to see that. But for me being right, it was awful because this is the second straight year I've picked Duke to win the national championship. It's the second straight year I picked Duke to win the national championship because I thought they had the best player in the country and I thought they were the best team. But I was I was in disbelief when they blew it to Houston last year. But like that shit on was that Sunday. I do not know how they lost that game. I just don't know how they lost that game, and they're losing these. They're not only just losing these games because it's one thing to lose a basketball game that'll happen. They're blowing these games. They blew that game to Houston last year within the final minutes, maybe within the final minutes, up big, in a game that they should have won 3, 4 times over. And then Sunday, like they blew a game that was with literally seconds left. They blew that game that they had won, and I I don't know what John Shire has to do to get over the hump because you're going to look back at these teams, and if these guys are going to have successful NBA careers, which Cooper and Khan are on path to do, you got other guys, contributing on the NBA benches, and I expect Cam Boozer to come in and contribute to whatever team he gets drafted to, and I think he'll have a really good career. So if we look back at these teams and we say, well, how didn't they do it with these teams? It's just like, bro, I don't know. I just don't know what they can do. It's like Oregon for me in college football. Like I looked at that 23 team with Bo, and I thought that was the best defense Dan Lannon had. I looked at 2014 with Dylan Gabriel, who you could argue is even better. I don't know how they do it. And Dan Lannon always has a great recruiting class. He's always going to have, a team that's in the playoff. I don't know how he gets over the hump. And same thing for John Shire. Like, I don't know what the fuck you do. They blew that game. They blew that game. And you can bring in all the first number one overall picks that you want to bring in, all the top recruiting classes you want to have. But at a point in time, boosters and alumni and all of that, they want to see a title. Like I said, expectation is expectation is one thing if you don't have the talent to match the expectation. The expectation is another thing if the talent exceeds even that.
Mhm. The I'm curious from a because I do have another question about Dan Hurley. Like, so I think if from what I can tell, and again, a lot of this is kind of looking up and it's historical backtracking. It's not watching in real time. Is that people basically really like hardcore college basketball fans? They separate once it became like the official one and done era. Like it's impossible to compare. I think one of the articles I was reading was like, you're never gonna touch Kareem again. Now most niggas can't touch Kareem in the pros either, but it's like you're not gonna have guys who stay 3 or 4 years. They brought up Duncan. Like Duncan was at Wake Forest until he was a junior. Or was Duncan all 4 years? I think
I think
Duncan was
Duncan
all
was
4 years.
all 4 years.
Damn. So it's like, okay, so like take those guys who just don't exist anymore, and it's
Yeah.
basically what makes it so tough. It's why like Anthony Davis is the standard for like how great you can be in a one and done season. Because I think Kentucky lose a game that year, or was it just one game?
They lost. I think they lost 2 games that year. They lost to Vanderbilt and Indiana.
Damn. And then they just ran through the tournament, and that nigga was already
Yeah,
walking out.
exactly.
Is I guess for something like Duke, can you? And Dan Hurley's doing it. Like, can you consistently win with a bunch of one and done guys?
In today's college basketball, no, because like you have to have a team of guys that are veterans. Like if you look at the 4 teams in the Final Four, you got Michigan, who's led by Yaxel, I think Lindenborg, who's a senior, Morez Johnson, who's a senior. You look at Arizona, who have great freshmen in Cole Pete and Braden Burries, but they also have veterans on that team as well. You look at Connecticut, who's pretty much just cycling guys in and out. The only real one and done they've had is Stephon Castle. I think who's the
I think
guy in
Jordan Hawkins is
Portland?
cool.
But like even then, Jordan Hawkins wasn't like a lottery pick. I think he might have been lottery, but he wasn't like top five pick. I mean,
Yeah.
um, so Connecticut is cycling guys in and out, having veterans on that team just from year to year, and then Illinois, who also like I said, had freshman talent. You can win with freshman talent, but you have to have veteran guys that can contribute. And Duke hasn't had that the last few years. Haven't had vets that can match the level of production of the freshmen. So it wasn't a vet on the team that could match what Khan and Cooper did. And this team didn't have vets that could match what Cam did. So that's how you end up in these spots where these guys are 17, 18 years old, and they're going up against guys that's 23, 24, 25. And the lights get bright and you freeze. Braylon Mullins, who's a freshman who made the big shot, he's playing around some good vets. He's playing around some good juniors and seniors. So and obviously a coach who's won two of the last three Nats. So it's like you you have to have those vets. And like I said, you can have all the great recruiting classes you want to have, and you can have all of these number one picks and top five picks come in, but like the results got to show eventually.
No, 1,000%. I do, and I know we kind of made the joke last week. Like, imagine feel sorry for niggas who's making this amount of money to play basketball. I did feel like when you watch the press conference of it's Caden Boozer, right? He's the younger one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he's 18, maybe 19. When you watch them put cameras or like all those microphones in his face after that moment, and like you could tell like that nigga's like really struggling to put words. I was like, all right, they're at college level, and I understand it's getting more blurry or the same because these guys are now all paid. That's tough to do to an 18-year-old man. Like just to like after that moment, like when you know you screwed up, because does college have a different rule of chucking the ball up? Like, can you just throw the ball up as high as you want with like a couple seconds to go?
Oh, in that sense, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine you can, but like even in that, like you said, like she's 18, like the presence of mind might not even be there to like do some shit like that. And at that point in time, it was still a good amount of time left. It was like 12 seconds left, which is
Yeah.
enough time for you to make something happen, but also enough time for you to not lose the game.
No, 1,000%. And they also, because Antonio Daniels does this on the Pelicans broadcast all the time. He was like, people play like a generic like release when it comes to dealing with pressure at the end of games, and it's like you should react to whatever they're trying to do. So if they playing you at half court, like don't just stand back, because they'll teach you even like at a high school level to like stand at the free throw line, and that way you can run like. But you actually got to move. You can't just stand there at the free throw line. I forget who the player was, but like the Duke player who was at the other free throw line, who was supposed to be the release, is like, bro,
Hmm.
you got to move, because if they running two guys at him, then he's not going to see you the same way. So you got to move to the side so that you're actually an option for the ball to get outletted to.
Right.
Um, who you got out of the Final Four? Who you think's gonna, from what I've been hearing, is Michigan, Arizona is the actual national title game, and then UConn, Illinois, they just fight for second place. I'm not sure if you feel that way, but
Um,
that's what I've been hearing.
I would probably pick Michigan right now. They've been just drumming teams. Arizona too, but Michigan's just been doing it from from the start of the season to now. I would probably pick Michigan, but I think Connecticut wins the game Saturday over Illinois. And I just can't count out Dan Hurley in that spot. With a chance to win his third in 4 years, like I couldn't count him out in that spot. But I'd go Michigan right now. I think, like I said, they just been putting belt to everything for the last 5 6 months. So That's where I feel comfortable going right now.
No, it's valid. It's valid. Do you think there is a gap between them, again, them, Arizona, and the other two?
I think it's a gap between. I think it's Michigan and Arizona are relatively on the same tier. Then when you get down to Connecticut, I think it's a small gap. I don't think it's as big as people may say. And then from there, between Illinois, a little bit more of a sizable gap. Illinois is live, so it's like you know they're on a Pacers type run. So if Illinois can knock off Connecticut, like they are, they alive as anybody to win that title. Come Monday night.
No, it's valid. It's valid. Does last week before we get into the NFL draft talk, did anybody out of the top three guys, so Boozer, DeBansta, and what's his name from Kansas?
Darren Peterson.
Man, I'm blanking. Peterson, yeah. Do you feel like any of them, like they stock actually changed with the tournament, or were they just locked in as the top three guys no matter what?
No, they was gonna be top three guys either way. However, you have them ordered. That's up to the teams and the fans and all of that. I have Cam one. I've had Cam one for a while, but yeah, that was gonna be. It's a locked in top four pretty much between Cam, AJ, uh, Darren, and Caleb Wilson. After that is really about who's five, who's five to the rest. Acuff is going to be in conversation for five. Kingston Fleming is going to be in conversation for five. If Keaton Wagler can win Saturday and Monday, he may catapult a lot of people, or Keaton Wagler, if you will. He may catapult up to five. So it depends. But that top four was locked in regardless of what happened.
No, it's valid. That's valid. Shout out to teams with first round picks. Yeah. We got Derek Queen. I'm still feel good about it. We'll see what happens next. We just need a coach. Michael Malone, I know you working on ESPN. If you want a job, Miss Benton has a lot of money. She'll pay you a lot of money. Just I just don't make me
Man,
start
that
my year with Willie Green again.
that old lady don't know what the day is. Like she ain't thinking about Mike Malone.
It's only
You don't fuck with
hilarious
Willie
because
Green no more?
it's look, man. I put my trust in Willie Green, and that nigga just broke my trust. Like just
Who is
piece
they
by piece.
interim coach?
James
Mo
Borrego.
Pete, David West.
Hey, look, man. I would take niggas. I know I got bad because like niggas have no faith in like New Orleans franchises doing stuff correctly. Because if you take out Drew Brees, it's a lot of bad. But niggas just said, hey man, you might as well like Chris Paul ain't doing nothing. You might as well let him like interim coach those last 10 games.
He should interview.
How fast you think Chris Paul would lose a locker room as a coach? Like how fast? Like
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I think Chris Paul should interview for that job though. I really do.
I'm not gonna say nothing bad. Like
Because
I don't want to say anything bad about Chris Paul. I just
I think that could be a situation where you're not a likable player, but you may be a likable coach. Everybody that you know, like certain shit is for certain people. Like maybe that's for Chris Paul.
do y'all think? Because obviously there's a like who's the it's probably Jason Kidd is like I don't count Magic coaching for however many games Magic coached. Jason Kidd is probably the best player that turned into a really good coach. Yeah. Am I blanking on somebody like obvious? Again, I don't count Magic because he only coached a handful of games and said, nah, fuck this.
Nigga, Larry Bird.
Oh, okay. Well, but how long did Larry coach for?
Like 8 years. He coached for a long time. He coached for a long time. Larry
What was that?
Bird coached Ron Artest in them, I think. Like he coached that Pacers team.
Larry Bird as a coach. Let's see. This nigga got two basketball references. That's crazy. Um, no. Okay, so Bird. Okay, Bird coached. Wow, for real? Okay, so Bird coached 3 seasons according to Basketball Reference. He got now he is okay. I'm dead ass. Like if like Larry Bird was the coach of the year in 97, 98
Nigga was
when he went
cold, man.
58 and 24, then 33 and 17. Oh yeah, the lockout season, and then 56 and 26.
Like, he was executive after that.
I was like, I didn't remember how long. I knew he was a coach. Okay, so Larry Bird's the best player. Okay, so he's the best. Obviously, he is the best player to be a really good head coach.
250 win, 55 plus win seasons. Goddamn, only season he didn't win 50 was the lockout season. Still went 33 and 17. Fucking finished first in the East.
By the way,
Went to the
to the
finals. Lost to Mike. Only reason he didn't go to 2 finals in 3 years because he lost to Mike. Shoot him.
lots of saying, and haven't we all? Before I ask the other Chris Paul question, is if anybody ever needs to like that whole Tim Duncan KG, which I felt was so fucked up. Like KG didn't deserve that, but the little bit of like Tim Duncan versus KG discourse that happened this last week on Twitter. If y'all don't realize, like Tim Duncan's biggest flex is that everybody just assumed his 50 win streak was ending because niggas only had 66 games and they still won 50. Like I just don't know what people want to do with Tim Duncan. Like I get it. He's not cool. He's not like he's nobody's like favorite player. But man, y'all got Tim fucked up. And KG is an all-time great, and I don't even KG deserve to be in that like thrown into that comparison. But y'all got Tim Duncan fucked up, man. Do you think because this is the kind of mold I think Chris Paul is in? Obviously, he's not as good a player, but just for the styles. Like, rest in peace. Do y'all think Kobe could have coached?
Yeah, I thought Kobe would have been a better women's coach though. I thought Kobe would have killed it in the women's game.
Do you think he could have been NBA head coach? I guess it's because I agree with you on the
He
women's part.
he could have, but I just think he would have. I think the best version of him as a coach would have came in women's ball.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay. Will, you think he could have coached in the NBA?
I think so. I don't know how um, great of a coach he would have been. I mean, and it's just when you think about maybe the relationship with players and things like that. And I think I can't really explain it, but I understand like what Tony mean when he say the best version probably would have been him coaching women.
Okay, I agree with that point, and part of that is I think Kobe would have been in that because like I don't think Mike could have coached, right? And I think the mentality of because y'all remember like
Michael Jordan head coach. I'd pay any amount of money to see it. Michael Jordan coaching Jordan Poole. Imagine.
Michael Jordan as an owner slapped Michael Kidd Gilchrist upside his head like as head coach.
Michael Jordan with assistant coach Charles Oakley. Oh brother, you've never seen a lottery team like this. You've never seen a team as ready for the lottery as this one.
I just but that intensity, like that shit only really works. And when we get to like the NFL topic is like one of my things is like leadership a lot of times is like bullshit overrated because the reality is your leadership style is tolerated as long as you are also a great player, right? So the shit that like at times in his career, like Kobe would have pissed off all his teammates. Yeah, you can piss off everybody when you average in 30 or the year he did 35. You can't piss everybody off towards the end of your career when you're clearly not the same player anymore. And that's, again, with the Chris Paul stuff, as it deteriorated for him at the end, it was like, you can't be the same guy who was, quote unquote, overly demanding or an asshole. Like, that worked when you were the dude who could get 20 and 10 and you were an all-star, all-NBA guy. That shit don't work when you are coming off the bench or a role player. And that's where I think Chris would probably struggle is if you have that same kind of expectation as a coach and guys just, again, these current set of guys just may not like you. The Pelicans are weird because they're really young. So like none of them really would have interacted with Chris Paul. So maybe it works. But I feel like he would struggle with that if he had any kind of veterans on his team because he's so close to being like he was playing literally at the start of this year. It's like,
I think Chris Paul was in an interesting spot because you in a situation where the players don't really fuck with you, and like ownership and team management and thing like they don't fuck with you either. Like I think,
Yeah.
I think when you like, so even somebody like Kobe, who towards the end of his career, of course, he wasn't what he was, and he got a lot of shit from maybe old teammates about how he was, but
Mm-hmm.
the organization loved Kobe.
That's a fact. Not letting me. He was, and Kobe is just dead ass one of the most popular players ever. And it was like, again, he's the
Kobe
hardest
could have
person to
Kobe
rank
could have
because of his
retired one day
popularity.
Kobe could have retired one day and been the head coach for the Lakers 2 weeks later if he wanted to.
Oh, no, that's a fact. Like, again, like Kobe was so beloved and popular. Like Magic was calling him the greatest Laker ever, and it's like I get it, but I'm like Magic, you the greatest Laker ever, dog. Like it's just and you are the most LA person ever. Um, so, but it was. I think even with that, I think Kobe could have done it for specifically the Lakers. And again, Chris is still good in New Orleans. Like I don't think Chris probably the better comparison. Like Chris couldn't have done it with the Clippers. I think that's fair to say. Like he could not have gone back, even though he is, depending on who you ask, he is equally as much a Clippers legend as he is a New Orleans legend because of how much time he spent in both places. But he could not have come back and been the coach for the Clippers. They would have ran his ass out the building. I mean, they ran his ass out the building as a player, so he definitely was going to run his ass out the building as a coach.
Facts.
Um, but even to that, like again, at success rate, before we move on to the NFL, you think the Bulls would have given Jordan a contract? Like if Jordan said in what was last year at the Wizards, 01? To the 01 or 02, whatever his last year was. If Mike went back to the Bulls and said, "Hey man, I want to try this coaching thing out," you think the Bulls would have given Mike a 2-3 year run?
Yeah. They're giving him a run right now. Shit.
That nigga out here being a fucking NASCAR owner. He got
Talk
nothing he want
about
to do with basketball.
talk,
He did.
talk about filling the seats up. Niggas, they raised the prices just off Jordan being on the bench.
That's yeah. Them niggas have. Oh, what will Mike's prep like pregame like coach prep talk fucking sound like? Hey man, y'all niggas better not fucking embarrass me. Mike would be the quickest. Like Mike would put you on the bench like 30 seconds in. Like you have like a whack like first minute. Like you get beat on defense, take a bad shot. Mike would have you on the bench for at least the first half.
Remember, he slapped Malik Monk upside his head. They was making a big deal about that.
Was it? Did he slap both of them, or did I just get Kid Gilchrist and Malik Monk fucked up?
You might got him fucked up, or I don't remember. I guess if anything, I don't remember. I don't. I guess if anything, I don't remember him doing it to Kid Gilchrist. I for sure remember him slapping Malik Monk upside the head.
Hey, hey, shout out to Mike, man. You get away with different shit when you the GOAT. Tony back with us here in a second. Moving over to the NFL and similar shit to like what you can get away with when you're good. The Eagles. So there's reporting that just came out. Just let me make sure I get the name right. I want to quote. But there's a topic. There's an article that came out today basically regarding the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and it's in regards to basically a lot of people are complaining that Jalen Hurts is actually the problem for the Eagles. The article goes over, basically discusses that he's not really willing to participate or cooperate when it comes to the offensive game plans. I read this line and I'm like, sound like a real nigga to me. They said he personally audible to 4 verticals with the game on the line, and I was like, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, I got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, absolutely, I'm calling 4 verticals. The fuck. But basically, they pretty much point to like a lot of the problems and a lot of the stuff that like the stuff AJ Brown has been complaining about. That, hey man, there's some truth to it, and there's a lot more people in the building that feel that way about Jalen Hurts. It's not just an AJ Brown thing. Before I pass the question off to what y'all think about it, is I said it a few minutes ago where And Jalen Hurts is one of those guys where it's like we give his intangibles a lot of credit, his leadership, the way he's played in big games. He's obviously, you could argue he's outplayed Mahomes twice in the Super Bowl. He's won one, obviously. But if leadership is your thing or the intangibles are your thing, that's only good for while you're winning. Because the second you lose, and then niggas start looking at you for like what you actually are accomplishing on the field and like how good you throw the ball, how good of a player you are, all that other shit goes out the window. And you being a quote unquote good leader just don't mean shit. Like you when you win the Super Bowl and you got confetti raining down and you just beat the Chiefs, congrats. You a great fucking leader, man. You best in the world. You start losing playoff games, like they had the bad loss a couple years ago to the Bucks. Who did they just lose to this last year? The Rams. Who the Eagles lose to?
Was it?
Damn, who the fuck they
was it? Was it the Niners?
Yeah. The Niners beat them, and the Niners are obviously injured, so like that was a bad loss. Um, so I'll pass the question up to y'all. Do y'all think Jalen Hurts is the problem with the Eagles?
Mm, I don't know if he's the problem. He may be a problem. He may be one of the problems. I mean, I don't know how much of it is play calling, like because the year they won, he wasn't the problem.
That's not 1,000%. And he's
So
got like
like
a
how,
crazy track record with offensive coordinators. Like he hasn't had the same offensive coordinator consecutive years since college.
and I think, and I think part of that though, like if another team is dealing with that and they losing, and you got another quarterback dealing with that, we give that quarterback the benefit of the doubt to say like, oh man, they changing coordinators every year, they changing coaches every year. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's usually something where you say, oh well, you can't blame them because you got to learn a new offense every year.
No, 1,000%. Is Jalen Hurts the problem with the Eagles, Tony?
Uh, he part of the problem. Um, they have a doofus as the head coach, so that's another problem. Um, the constant turnover offensively can be tough because he's not Josh Allen, he's not Lamar, he's not Burrow. Like they are the offensive system. Granted, they need good play calling around them, but that's structured around them. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
offense put around Jalen Hurts is a real deal offensive system that he has to follow or he's put in because this is what's best for the team. So based on the reporting, if he's pushing back against some of these things that offensive play callers are trying to do, then it's on him. Like they said, like Kellen Moore wanted to do more, stuff using his legs and things like that. I think the number was like 260. They used when they won the Super Bowl in 24. And last year with the Saints alone, Kellen Moore did like 370. So it's like that there lets you know like there is pushback. But the fact of the matter is Jalen Hurts has always been either good or fine. He's never necessarily been great. I think the closest he got to great was in 22 when he went to the Super Bowl before he got hurt and he was on pace to win MVP before he missed those games. That's the closest he's been in the NFL to being a great quarterback. Other than that, he's just been good or fine, and that's okay. They won the title, but um, he can't be that for this team when if Saquon is not going to be 24 Saquon, and Saquon might not be 24 Saquon again. So that's not good enough for what this team needs. And then it's the AJ Brown of it all. Um, will AJ Brown be traded? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know what the asking price is for AJ Brown. We don't know what the going rate is for AJ Brown. So that team has got a lot of questions. They're still one of the more talented rosters in the game to me. Um, some
Definitely.
fixes, obviously, but I think those are things that they can fix. So the 26 Eagles gonna be an interesting team because I personally probably wouldn't say they're the leader in the NFC East going into the season. I would pick Dallas personally. So it's gonna be interesting.
Do what's the way to phrase it? Because you brought up when we were texting about it earlier. Is some of this just the expectation of the roster? Like that we all look at the Eagles these last 2 to 3 years, and they're either starting the season as 1A, 1B, the most talented team in football.
For sure. I think the roster is a big part of it. Like if this was a less talented roster, I don't think it'd be a lot of discourse around them as a team. But because people view the roster as being really good, you're going to have this talk. And obviously, a season and some change removed from the Super Bowl, so or 2 seasons, if you will, that 2 seasons removed from the title. So this is where that talk happens.
And obviously you got to tend to take everything case by case, but it did make me wonder, just like big picture, is how much runway, and this kind of works for all sports, how much runway does a title actually give you nowadays? So I feel like in the NBA, I feel like in the NBA, like Giannis has lost some shine. And obviously, like, he's been injured this year, but it's like from what they accomplished when he won the title and what has happened since then, I feel like what would have been and obviously they're different eras, but like Dirk couldn't lose any shine. Like once Dirk got his title, like it was good forever. Dirk was obviously always gonna be good forever. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players ever. But like once he got that title, it was like it didn't matter what he did the rest of his career, he was good money. That I wonder if that still exists. Because again, like Giannis has lost some of that shine. Jokic to a smaller degree because he's still arguably playing as the best player in the world. But like Jalen is just a year and a half removed from the Super Bowl, and this niggas is like, man, he's really the problem. Like this, like damn near like if you almost feel like you could replace Jalen with any other quarterback or any other good quarterback, and it's like, oh, this team would do the same thing. Like, how much runway do niggas still get from winning championships?
So, and NFL or NBA?
Both.
Go ahead, Will.
I think so. I think the NBA, I guess, to the point that you made about Dirk and Giannis and maybe even Jokic, I think the difference is that Dirk won his towards the tail end of his career, so he was a Hall of Famer before he got the ring. So I think, and I mean, when you just talk about who he beat to get it, like when you talk about what he did, that we talk about that being one of the hardest titles to win in the NBA as far as going up against the Heatles and things like that. So I think Dirk's is definitely different, and I think Giannis bringing a title to Milwaukee, that was a big thing too. But when you do it, maybe not. I would say he was. I don't know how many years in he was at the time he won that title, but I would say that's pretty early in his career. So it's like
he was like 26.
Yeah, he was like 20. He came in pretty young. So it's like it wasn't like later. It was like in the middle of his career, which what'd you say, Justin?
I think it's year 7 for Giannis.
Yeah, so I mean kind of like midway through his career, but I think when you win a title and you got a lot of peak left, like as far as peak years being at the top of your game individually, when you don't keep winning, I think it definitely has a tendency to kind of lose some of that allure. I don't necessarily know what that timeline is, but I think when you look at Giannis and the Bucks, it's kind of like each year since they won, they've gotten less and less competitive. Like they haven't gotten better, they haven't gotten closer to winning again. But so I don't know what the timeline is. Maybe it's at whatever point you stop competing for it, because now you're not. Now they don't look at the Bucks and see them as contenders.
No, that's fair. I'm on Dirk's basketball reference because Dirk played so long. Like Dirk played another 7 years post winning a title.
I think Dirk played with Luka. People forget that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's like Dirk played like a long ass time. Because I think that was like one of the jokes is like I think he finished like he just beat out. I think he beat Kobe's record the year afterwards. It was like the longest time with one team. His basketball reference nicknames. Y'all tell me if you ever heard anyone call Dirk this, and then Tony, you can answer. So this nigga's nicknames, they got Dirty.
Straight be some stupid shit. Like
they got Tall Baller from the G, German Race Car, and German Jesus.
When we start calling Germany the G. Don't give these
Why do
niggas
they
no
say German
ideas,
race car?
man.
Like they just they call this nigga a Volkswagen. Like what the?
Dennis Schroeder from the G.
That's that German engineer.
Oh my gosh. How long niggas get to run off their title, Tony?
Imagine calling it the G in front of Adolf. Imagine the consequences.
Oh
um,
gosh.
a NBA title like NBA title gives you get some grace depending on who you are. because I just saw them act like Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown ain't win it. So the NBA title is for sure a matter of who are you. The NFL, considering not many different motherfuckers have won it over the last 10 years, is I don't really know. Like it's tough because if you ain't Brady, if you ain't Mahomes, Hurts got his, Stafford got his. Um, like so
They played
that's
so long.
tricky.
Manning's in that convo too, because they just like it was just Manning, Brady, and Ben getting to Super Bowl like post 2007. Like the AFC had a stupid run, and Mahomes
So
obviously.
it's one of those things where it's like we don't really know how much grace a NFL title gives you. Like I said in the chat, it's a very particular situation for the Eagles because you if you're Jalen Hurts, you might not be getting that grace because number one, we're watching the games and we see things out of sync and we see you're not really contributing to the best of your ability. We feel like at least, and we feel like this roster is one of the best in the league. So you can't really get that if we feel like this team should be getting back at least to a conference title. You're losing in the first round to the 49ers, like at home. So you can't really get grace when you're in that situation. And not only are you losing, but Jalen Hurts, you're part of the reason the team is losing.
No. The the pushback that I was like in my brain because like I had Hurts in my top 5. I forget the exact moment. I think it was probably right after this last Super Bowl. And my thought process is like even amongst the top guys, and I don't think Hurts is as good as Lamar, Patrick, Josh, Stafford, or Burrow. But what he has over almost all of them, besides exactly Mahomes, is like he has definitive playoff defining moments, like
Yeah.
great playoff defining moments. And so if I'm him, I kind of would feel away if it's like my team beat the shit out of Mahomes, which the only other nigga that can say that is Brady. Like in the playoffs, just whooped them. Like it's me and Brady. That's the end of the list. I have a regular season in which I was a top 3 MVP finisher, and the offense has obviously changed every single year because I've had all these coordinators. Like, I have a resume. Again, nobody thinks he is, and I don't either. I am, quote unquote, like in that top 5, 6 range. But my resume, strictly resume, his resume is top 5 in the league right now. It's only if we're counting the guys, like Mahomes' resume obviously is number 1, and it's out of here. Then you got the guys with MVPs, Lamar and Allen, and then you've got Stafford, who has the full arc, like full Hall of Fame career.
Stafford got the MVP
But
too.
Hurts, yeah, Stafford's got the MVP now. Like, but Hurts got a better resume than Burrow. Nobody will say Hurts is better than Burrow, but Hurts has a better resume than Burrow. Hurts has a better resume than everyone's favorite quarterback, Justin Herbert. Like, so that's the pushback.
Don't even get me started, man. Get me started. Fair play to Herbert. Like I too would like you to be able to stand up and throw the football. So like grace to you, but for sure, Hurts has a better resume than Herbert. Yes.
Yeah, That's if we shitting on Herbert,
Is Hurts better than Dak?
He has a better resume than Dak.
No, but is he
Dak
better
is
than
like,
Dak? He's got a better resume, but is he better than Dak?
I struggle like hell with Dak because Dak is like the bar of like, if you better than Dak, I think you're great. Dak is like the entry to gate. Great. Off this last season, I would say if you asked me picking someone to start, I probably would pick Dak right this second. But that's tough. Again, like he's and to the point of like how long or how much grace do you get from winning that title? Like, and again, that title is against the best player in the sport, the one of the best players of all time. I guess. How do y'all feel about Kawhi? Because I feel like Kawhi's rings, niggas in general hold those up. Like those rings have a lot of weight to a lot of people. Like does Kawhi have all-time rings in your opinion?
All time. I mean, he has the all time ring for sure. I don't know if the 14 ring is an all time ring, but the 19 ring is for sure all time ring. Um, do you mean
If the
what do
Warriors
you
don't
think about
return.
Kawhi from a historical standpoint?
Yeah, like how high should Kawhi Leonard like people have Kawhi KD conversations, which to me I find kind of asinine. I'm aware like again, I said this last week. I just don't think there's a lot of people who can stand next to Kevin Durant and like I confidently say as a better basketball player. And because of the context of Durant's 2 rings, it's really tough. Because like I know what I think of him as an individual, but his rings are always going to be skewed. But I feel like Kawhi's get skewed in the other way.
At their best, at their best, Kawhi's a better player. But totality wise is Durant. How high should Kawhi be? I'd probably have Kawhi top 30 to 35. And if I really dug into it, I could talk myself in the top 25 probably. If I really thought about like player by player. But for as far as Kawhi and KD goes, at their best as athletes, Kawhi's a better player.
That's tough. I know that Warriors team was stacked, and I get it. Someone tweeted it, and I laughed because the tweet was funny. But like in 2018, which is people make an argument, and it's a fair one that like that's the best LeBron James, right? Because what he was doing in that playoff run was fucking crazy. But they got swept that year in the finals, and it's kind of one of those like we just don't talk about it. And someone put up it was like the Rockets got several games off that Warriors teams. The Pelicans got a game off that Warriors team, which is how the tweet found its way to me. And I think it was the Blazers got a game. Durant during those 2 finals, if you would ask me like, could he stand toe to toe with LeBron? I probably would have told you, yeah. Like obviously, like it's tough, but like so when you say like at their best, to me, when I'm viewing Durant at his best, I'm like, I think at his best, this nigga could look LeBron in the face and say like, I can go toe to toe with you. And I don't know if I feel that way about Kawhi. I know for a fact. I'm sorry. I know for a fact I don't feel that way about Kawhi.
Kawhi at his not best did it. So like I don't know what like
That's see, but that's Kawhi during that series. Like Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili were still the Spurs. Like I'm not taking away what
but
Kawhi did in that
for
series.
sure. But he was the engine to that though. They don't do any of that if he's not there.
That's tough for me. Like I don't want to take away. Like I don't want to dismiss his 2 rings. I just feel like as much as people generally like put down Durant's rings, I feel like Kawhi's rings get like super elevated. Um, yeah, it's that one's tough for me, man. How long do you think a ring gets you in baseball?
Oh, brother. That's a great question. That's a great fucking question. A ring in baseball could take you to the end of your career, like honestly. Like
That's a fact.
think about the grace Trout has gotten making the playoffs once. Imagine if he had 1 ring.
I think and Trout's off to a healthy start to a season. I hope he has a healthy year. I'm gonna keep repeating that. I'd like one more healthy year out of Mike Trout. Trout
Snake
is
oil. Like
like, but Trout is like one of the ultimate outliers because again, we all just acknowledge like the Angels organization despite putting in money, everybody that went to the Angels, it was over. Like that was basically like signing away the rest of your career. Because Pujols went there, went downhill. Hamilton went there, downhill. Anthony Rendon, you want to talk about snake oil salesman? Maybe the greatest heist in the history of sports. And he was just so much better than everybody that like it's tough. Trout is yeah, man. Miguel Cabrera got a lot of mouth because Miguel Cabrera want to bring with the Marlins, and like that shit just held on forever. And he's an all-time great hitter, but it was like there was never a point where it's like, damn, can he get it done? It's like, nah, the nigga got it done at 22 or 21.
That Miggy ring went. See, that Miggy ring went a very long way. That Miggy ring went an extremely long way.
Because those Tigers
and who he beat obviously helps it too, but
oh yeah, like because Verlander didn't get one until the Astros, right? Like he never won one with Detroit.
Yeah, his first title was 22.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that shit is crazy. And those Tiger teams were stacked. How y'all niggas not win one, man? A little bit more also to the NBA is the foul heard around the world. SGA gets called for an offensive foul. Look, man, this is my theory, and then I'll pass this off to y'all as we start to close out here. My thing, I think, with why foul baiting is, and I've joined in on the conversation and stuff, but part of the reason it's so polarizing right now is if I take, who did I get to? I think I got to 5. Steph, LeBron, Kobe probably should be, but I don't think his game translates very well. Shaq and they only got to 4, and I don't know if Kobe works. We were for so long like the best players. We knew they didn't get every call. Like I feel like it's commonplace to say now, like, oh, star players get calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we all know Shaq didn't get every single call because niggas was just hacking Shaq, and it was like you didn't
it averaged like 40.
Yeah, like he just. So we got really conditioned to it's like, oh yeah, you're just not gonna call a foul on Shaq because he would live at the line. He would have the top 10 free throw games would just all be him. LeBron used to get fouled like hell early in his career when he was like in his physical prime, and it was like, we ain't gonna call every fucking foul. Like LeBron running niggas over. And Steph, because he never really lived in the paint, because he's the greatest shooter ever, that's why this highlight of like the way Harden played, the way SGA's played, I just don't think, and I'm a part of this problem, which is why I'm kind of trying to refocus my basketball brain, is like, are we just, because the best players in the sport are no longer just clearly the biggest, strongest athlete, like, is it just new to us in terms of how we view basketball? Because it's not Shaq, 7 foot 320, or LeBron 6'8", 260, like the way Steph, and again, Steph just didn't live in the paint, so his free throws were always going to be down comparatively. Like, Shea has to do some of that stuff because he's not LeBron physically. Harden's got to do some of that stuff because he ain't Shaq physically.
James Harden famously said, I have to learn how to dribble and shoot and be skilled. I can't just run and dunk. Like Giannis.
1,000%.
Cook them.
Yeah. And Giannis is another good example. Giannis would fit in this too, where Giannis got to the free throw line a good amount, but like there were fouls on Giannis that it was like, bro, if we hit you and you still keep moving full speed, like we're not blowing the fucking whistle. Like,
I don't. So you're saying like because these players today aren't the guys we saw growing up that were like physical freaks, if you will, like. Does that make us look at it differently, like free throws and fouls and stuff like that?
Absolutely. If D Wade was the best player on the planet, like because of what we all saw happen at those 06 finals, but if he was the guy, like, and he was for that series, but if he was the guy in the league, I think we would view it differently because D Wade did get to the line. D Wade was smaller, so he did have to do more craftier things. Like if he was the legend from that era, would we look at this differently? What just happened? What just happened? What just happened?
Tony just got some breaking news, man.
I was looking at D Wade of women, but the D Wade thing is crazy because like people still give D Wade shit for that to this day. Like like bro,
Oh, absolutely.
it was
Mark
a
Cuban just
rigged
bitched
job.
about it 2 weeks ago. Like,
I don't know, man. I look at what Shea is doing right now, and similar to when James was doing it, similar to when Luca still does it. It's just one of them things that's just like they're going to let me do this, and I will only be the guy at this moment. Like you have to kind of, for better or worse, you got to run it up while you can. And if they're going to allow Shay to get that shit off, and as frustrating as it is to watch, and as frustrating as it is for fans, it's just like at the end of the day, the job is to win basketball games and put up numbers while you do it. And Silver ain't going to do nothing to change this. Stern didn't do nothing to change this when guys did it in that era because the guys did it in that era too. So it's
right.
just it's one of those things you gotta kind of just eat that shit. Like you do what you want when you're popping, and ain't nobody in the league more popping right now outside of Victor than than Shea Gilgeous Alexander. So it's like you gotta you. I hate to say it, but you gotta deal with it. If your team is going up against it, coming in, you gotta deal with it. The fucking Thunder ain't undefeated. They can lose games. So it's not like these this free throws and what's going on ain't the reason your team is losing to the Thunder all the time. It can be a part of it, but most of the time your team's getting just beat over the head because the Thunder are really good. And that's tough for people to accept. That's really what it is at the end of the day. It's like you can't be this good. And breaking news, like he can, he can be this
You know,
good.
Justin. Justin ain't never hated on a nigga in the East.
I am a proud. I don't hate everybody. Everybody succeeds. Everybody does well.
I was just sitting here thinking about all the niggas he hate.
I hate.
And,
So no. Here's my
and,
thing. I'm
and wait,
curious if.
hold on, because I'll be like, this nigga be hating like they stopping his team from winning the title or some shit.
See, I knew that was coming. No, because you know why? Because I saw the birth of this bullshit. Because Thunder Pelicans was a first round series 3 years ago, and Jeff Van Gundy went on a 5-minute thing on ESPN going like, "Hey man, anybody notice Lou Dort is really just like punching Brandon Ingram in the face every time he gets the ball, and ain't nobody say shit." I think that also doesn't help. And
That's
I
what
know
I'm saying. That's
NBC
why
has
y'all ain't win the
started
chip that year.
absolutely, and NBC has started to be like, "Hey man, look." They are just like they is just grabbing niggas, and it's like I think for a while, like when the broadcast played stupid to it, I think that also pissed off fans. Where it was like, man, great defense, and it would just be like them niggas mauling somebody as they get in the paint. I don't want anyone to get hurt, so let me preface this by saying, and this is obviously an era thing. But when you talk about like taking this Thunder team, which if they get this title, and I think they do get it, unless Wembanyama just goes crazy, they're going to be putting conversations of like how great are they compared to other all-time teams, right? And it's always fucked up when you compare eras. I also think like if you brought these niggas in the 2000s, like somebody would they would take those kind of fouls. Like they would just say like, I bet if this is how y'all gonna play defense, cool. But the second this nigga like starts going down the lane and thinks he's gonna do some shit, like I am kind of shocked that nobody is like, you don't see hard fouls against the Thunder, and I'm just kind of shocked. I don't know. I'm just shocked I haven't seen it.
Why are
I'm
you
shocked.
shocked?
I'm shocked. Ain't nobody like, cause like niggas can't be this pussy. Like you just can't let these niggas like, grab you and like you can't let them do this to you like day in day out and like never respond. I'm like, cause it's not like. Besides Lou Dort, who I'll give like Lou Dort, he's strong. All right, cool. Besides him and even that shit, nigga, like just like nobody's trying to hard foul them. Y'all just, and because that's technically what the Spurs do. Like the Spurs flat out say, "I bet y'all gonna grab and do shit. We're gonna do the same shit back." and we just got a nigga who's 7'5", and he's gonna help us because they're clearly not playing like correct defense. They're just intentionally trying to be physical. So ended like what Wembayama cover up. I'm shocked more teams don't just play the Thunder more physical, and that's the part I think your coach can go and complain, but it's like, man, hey Josh Hart, you got 6 fouls, bro. Go use 2 of them. Like
You just answered your question right there. No, you can't. You can't do that when you don't have the star power. The Spurs can do that because they have the star power. They have a bigger star. Every team don't have that. So you don't have the benefit of being able to kind of play rough and commit hard fouls when you're not going to get the love on the other end. The refs ain't gonna hold the Spurs accountable like they will a regular team because you can't put Victor in the losing situation. I can fucking put a lesser team in a situation like that because they don't have no star that I got to keep on the court, or they don't have a star I got to make sure is in at least a winning situation at the end of this game. Like, as much as we might want to think this league is fair or any sports league is fair and all of that type of bullshit, like this is all TV shows, and they got to satisfy the TV aspect of it. So if I'm a referee, I can't be getting calls from up top that, hey, why'd you do this that impacted this game that we had on ABC on Saturday night, where it was supposed to be a close game, but because you made these calls, fucking, Victor and the Spurs lost by 20. Like, everybody don't got the benefit of that. Like, if you're a record label, you goddamn. If you're a record label and you have an artist on it and they beefing with another label's top artist, that works because we got that guy too. But if we a underground label, I can't be beefing with the biggest artist at fucking Def Jam. Like, it's just, I'm losing every aspect of it. So it's like the Thunder can do these things to these teams because they was hot right now. And there was going to be hot for the foreseeable future, especially if that pick somehow ends up in a good spot, because then they got all the leverage in the world.
do you think?
And they could trade Chet, who they probably should trade.
No, because I can't see that shit right now. Is the other part, I guess, too, is the way they play. Like, do you feel like they are a good TV product?
The Thunder?
Yeah.
Yes, because people don't like them. like
Okay.
in wrestling is your cheer or your boo. Just make a sound when I come out the motherfucking stage. If you don't say nothing, then I'm fucked. So if you're the Thunder, it's like they either love us or they hate us, but they give a shit about us. And if you're the league, you like, hey, we can get behind this because like there's an opinion on the Thunder one way or another. Nobody watched the Thunder be like, I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's how people watch the Bucks when the Bucks was at the top. Like, you was indifferent. You was indifferent. Like, obviously Giannis was that guy, but like you was indifferent about the Bucks. Nobody hated the Bucks, but nobody necessarily was like, I can't wait to see this Bucks game, unless you was a hardcore hoops fan. You don't got to be a hardcore hoops fan to be like, I don't like that these motherfuckers win all the time. Or on the other end, I love that they win all the time.
No, that's. I think the Nuggets had that too. We're like, I don't feel like Jokic was that 2 to 3 year, whatever you want to say is their best 2 to 3 years. Obviously they got the chip and they got a couple of deep runs. Like the most thing, like the thing that niggas quote unquote hated about Jokic is like, oh, does he even care about basketball? Yeah, because he came off like
they got the chip, but they didn't have no deep runs after that. They lost in the second round the last 2 seasons.
Has it really only been 2 years since he won?
Yeah, they won in 23.
Damn. So it was them, Boston, and then OKC. Yeah.
Yep. They lost in 7 to the Wolves in 24, and last year they lost in 7 to the Thunder.
As a retired fan, we only got like another minute or so here. As a retired fan, do you think niggas hated the Celtics, or do you think niggas hated Jason Tatum?
Niggas hate the Celtics, yes, but that's the Boston of it all. That's not really the players. and then you have niggas that hate Jason Tatum. So it all kind of just comes together perfectly for haters. It's like a haters, smoothie, if you will.
That's like I feel like Tatum like transcended, and yeah, you're right because Boston is one of those places like it's got its own reputation and people are gonna hate that. But like, give props like Tatum transcended that and it was like nigga like no, I hate you. Like fuck the jersey, like I hate you.
Light skinned
That shit
nigga,
was like,
curly hair, went to Duke. Fine baby mama. Come on, man.
hey man, look, hey man, it's shout out to him for executive producing an album. I don't know what he did, but he was. I fuck with the album. That album's fire, but I'm like, yeah, look, man, anyone can executive produce. Will, who do
Everybody
you hate
can't
in the NBA?
everybody can't invent the remix, the deluxe album like LeBron James.
Shout out to LeBron James. What you say? Who are what?
I said, who you hate in the NBA? Like, who's the team you like? Nah, I hate. I fuck them niggas.
The Pelicans. No, I'm just playing.
I think
I'm
it's only
just
got
joking.
nobody to hate. Imagine a nigga hating Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Is it a team that I hate? Nah, I don't think so. Not today.
Not
I
today.
ain't, nah, I ain't got no hate in my heart today.
There's only two sports teams I hate, but
Yankees. I'm not. I can guess the other one. Hold up. Yankees for sure. One of them.
for sure.
Steelers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. That tracks. That tracks. Uh, who I hate. See, I hate. See, but y'all know me though. Like, I hate like a lot of teams. Like I hate the whole
You do.
AFC West.
You
You
do.
a hater, period. Though. You a hater.
I do. I. Oh, that was really quick, and this y'all got to stay here long. Um, that was actually a decent idea as far as like getting people engaged. Obviously, people have been talking about like the anti-tanking stuff, and that shit ain't gonna fix itself. Is there any way like the NBA niggas don't care about divisions? But if y'all remember, I forget what year it changed exactly, but like remember the top 3 seeds used to be the division winners. Do y'all think that if that rule came back, would it actually make divisions matter in basketball?
It didn't then. It probably still wouldn't. Like in theory, but not really. It's just who's good, who's not type of shit. So like realistically, the NBA probably needs to go. They won't obviously for the money, but realistically, they probably should go away from. They should do the WNBA model of just these are the best teams that make the playoffs, not the best team from the East, the best team from the West. And maybe with expansion, that's something they look into in the future. But like I said, I doubt it just because of like the revenue and media rights and shit like that. But they they ain't gotta bring that back because I remember the Celtics had a worse record than the Hawks did, and they had home court over the Hawks. But it's just like it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I remember correctly because the Hornets back then they were fucked because the division's literally all the Texas teams. So it was like Dallas with Dirk winning 50 games, the Spurs and Duncan winning 50 plus games, and then the Rockets, and that was like the Yao T Mac. And I'm just like, hey, yo, can y'all like get them niggas like in any other fucking division, like please? Because that's really what the divisions used to be. It was like the Lakers won the Pacific, the Spurs would win the Southwest. I don't remember who the fuck the other third team would be consistently, but hey man, anti tanking. Uh, Tony, 30 seconds to make your bid to be commissioner after we fire Adam Silver after this episode.
Um, 30 seconds. The next commissioner, like, what would I implement?
Absolutely, you commissioner starting tomorrow. What's your game plan?
Um, rigging the games again, like Stern. Um, rigging the games again, like Stern, like flat out. Uh, what else? Going back to best of three in the first round. Like, there's no need for all
That's
these
good.
fucking 7 game series. I mean, well, best of five rather. First to three, best of five. Um, taking down Michael Jordan's jersey in Miami and Dan Marino's. I'm taking those down. And I'm making last one. I'm making Allen Iverson deputy commissioner.
Hey man, I'm here for it. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm here for it, man. Hey, with that being said, appreciate you all as always. Don't forget to check us out. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. YouTube, check us out. TikTok, Twitter. Come around, hang out with us. We live every Wednesday on time, 4:30. Never been late once in our lives. This is the Group Chat Podcast. Appreciate y'all.
22
We'll see you next
days.
week.
We live streaming the NFL draft round 1. 22 days
Right.
away.
And Tony forgot to mention that when he take over as commissioner, he gonna be partnering with Kaushi. Cold hard foul 10. All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all
Nigga
next week.
started with
Don't
rigging games.
don't believe this. I'm just rigging games. I'm not insider trading.
Hey, this nigga said I'm rigging for the love of the game. Fuck the money.
You know,
He
we need.
also gonna be bringing games back to real TV and no more of the streaming bullshit.
If you see the NBA Finals streamed in Abu Dhabi,
Bringing
Hey,
the
yo, hey
real
man, we got
streamies back.
I did it for the people.
Yeah, man of the people.
back, yeah.
Not above, but
Hey man,
equal.
we'll catch y'all next week, man. We out.